Hi beautiful. So how are we all doing today? So today we'll be making this beautiful gown. Have you ever heard of FBA? That is full bust adjustment. That is when you want to apply that to a particular style, but you don't want the dart lines to show. In corset, it's called dartless corset, but in simple A-line or straight gown styles is called full bust adjustment. Now we have it for hips, and that is full butt adjustment. Okay, that is giving room for the bust, or giving room for the butt area, for the hip area. Okay, for the butt, because now it's actually not the hip. So today I'm going to be talking about this particular item. This was what was used in this gown that made it look very fitted, very beautiful, and sleeping on the customer's figure. Do you see? There was room created for the bust, but it's not showing. Do you want to know what the secret is? Continue to watch this video, and thank you for being here.
So today we'll
You're
be
in the right
working
place.
on this beautiful gown we are seeing here, right? So now this gown, somebody will just say it's a fitted gown, but there is a lot of designs that is on this gown that has made it lovely. Okay, and part of the design, apart from the collar stand, the sleeve, I want to be talking about the main bodies. Now I want to tell you that these bodies, one, look at it properly, there is full bust adjustment on this gown, and that's what we are going to be talking about today, whereby a dart has a style has dart, but you are not seeing the dart lines. It's called, for the front, it's called full bust adjustment, but for the back, it's called, for the hip at the back, it's called full butt adjustment. But for today, we'll be talking about full bust adjustment. Okay, how to incorporate that in your style, and the dart line will not be showing. Now if you look at this gown properly, except for somebody that has that A-line figure, okay, that perfect A-line figure, if you just do what we have always been doing, it will fit and sit properly without a dart, because the dart line you are seeing on this particular design now is design. Okay, the real dart is incorporated in the bodies of that gown. Now if you look at it, this gown is perfectly fitted. Okay, I say perfectly because there's actually no correction. It fits on the lady, and then do well. Now I want to talk about something real quickly. A client sees a style online and quickly brings it to you. I want to make this style, and yes, you can make it, and you just agree that you can make it, and then you finish making it. It becomes what I ordered versus what I got. Okay, please kindly look at the style very well, and look at the structure of your client, and advise the client accordingly. Now for this kind of style, yes, what we are going to be doing now is going to help out. Another thing you are going to look out for is that when your client comes for measuring, right? When your client comes for measuring, please do well to let the client wear a bra. Some clients come without wearing bra, and then when you finish sewing, you do guesswork, and when you finish sewing, it doesn't really fit. The client will not understand that it's because she didn't wear bra that day that she came for it. Okay, then secondly, when you are in your choice of style, please, for this particular style, know it very well that this effect, it will be fine, oh, but this effect will not be perfect on a pregnant woman. This effect will not be perfect on somebody that is a little bit bulky around the tummy area. Do you understand? So it's either the person you are making it for agrees to wearing a tummy trimmer, okay, or he just chooses another style. Okay, so let's go right into this. These are the secret things that you have to look out for when making this kind of style. Then the first thing we are going to be working on is the full bust adjustment, before we now create this dart you are seeing in front. Now this dart that you are seeing in front, I will want to tell you that is actually not a dart. Okay, that dart you are seeing is just a design. Okay, now secondly, it's just a designer because the dart has already been included in the bodies of the gown before that stuff you are seeing, both front and back, was incorporated there. So let's go ahead to work on our fabric. So now for us to incorporate that in this, if we this is okay, you already know how we got that, but let me just run through it one more time for people that are new to my channel and new to sewing. So this is the neckline, and the neckline, please make sure that the neckline you are going to be using is exactly the person's neckline. This is not the standard 3 by 3 measurement for neckline. Okay, is going to be bust divided by 12. Whatsoever you got, that is what you are going to be marking. Then we came down by 1 inch for our shoulder slant. We already said it that our shoulder is not straight, so it definitely has to be slanting. Then we measured our armhole, okay, and then we got the halfway of our armhole, which is here, and we came in by ½ inch. That's to make our armhole curve. This armhole curve is very necessary. It's only for guys that you might end up not putting it, but for women we just have to put it because it adds shape to our shoulders. Okay, so on this our chest line, which is the armhole line, we are going to be marking our bust divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance, bust divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance, waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance, waist hips divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance, and then the hemline you are bringing it down. Now this gown is not necessarily a pencil gown, okay, it's not necessarily a pencil gown, but it is not an A-line gown, it's just straight, okay, straight and fitted. Now this, what I have marked out here, can be used if a gown is stretchy. Okay, if a gown is stretchy, now if a gown is stretchy and you get exactly this figure and then you make it, it will lap because it's stretchy. Now for a fabric that is not really stretchy, okay, when you make this, you find out that around the hip waist area there might be little loose gaps, or which you are not seeing in this style that we are making now. Okay, so that loose areas you want to see around the front, the back, is what we are going to be removing with this full bust adjustment. Okay, so now we now connected our lines. Remember that when we go to hip line, you come up by 2 inches, you go down by 2 inches, so that you won't have a sharp curving around the hip line. Okay, so let's go right into it, and then we are going to be coming down. Some people don't come down by 1 inch around the bust area when making the bust that, right? But I like coming down by 1 inch before we start our measurement. But let me go with these people's. For this full bust adjustment, okay, we don't need to come down by 1 inch before we start whatever we want to do. We are going to be coming down directly by 2 inches, which is somewhere around here. Okay, now we are going to be working with our nipple to nipple measurement, and the nipple to nipple measurement for this person is 4 inches. I've already marked it, so I will just be coming down this way. Okay, so this is the apex point of our bust measurement. Okay, so these 2 inches we marked here, we are going to connect it directly. Okay, we are going to be connecting it directly to this nipple to nipple line. Okay, so the next thing for us to do is to slit our, we'll cut out first of all. I won't be wasting our time on the back pattern, but we'll know it that whatever you did to the front, you are going to be doing to the back. Okay, okay, so this is our pattern now. So we are going to slit through the lines. Okay, can you see? So that we can move this particular one. Now we are going to be moving this way. Okay, we are going to be moving this way to. Okay, so can you see? So this is a new pattern. All this I'm doing, you need to come to where we make fabrics here on the islands, where we make all these beautiful designs you are seeing as ready to wear. I want to let you know that half of what you are seeing on the streets nowadays as imported turkey gowns are no more imported. Okay, we run them. Initially used the machines for it used to be in Aba, but now it has extended to Lagos and we are the island. Okay, so I'm just bringing to you to show you that you too from your own corner of your house can do exactly what I'm doing. So now we are going to pick up the remaining loose side. Okay, you pick it up this way and you cover the dart. Now this dart has been covered. Can you see? Remember that this place is on fold, so it has to be straight, and I'm using the new pattern paper as a guideline, right? So now can you see the dart has been covered with what I just did? That the dart is in this gown, but you will not see it again in the new pattern. So, and if you look closely, you will see that, okay, so we are going to be marking our new pattern, our new bodies. Okay, yours will be neater. There's something I want you to take note of. This gown is not a flare gown. So if you leave this space in between here that was created, it's going to form flare by the time you are done. So whatever we are doing, we are still going to cover this thing, and this is what is called transfer of dart. Transfer of dart, you have transferred this dart from this bust to this line. Okay, now but we do not need this space, because if we leave it, we are going to have the effect of flare after we have cut our fabric, and we don't want it. So I'm going to open it back gently, okay, to be able to mark our initial bodies. I did not mark it because I wanted us to see something. Okay, so you can see now this is our initial bodies, right? So I want to cover the dart now, and I have done that. Can you see? Now, when you are covering the dart, you will tend to have a difference here. Why you are not really noticing the difference is because I'm using a mini paper. Now, when you are cutting on a life size, you are going to observe a shift from here. Okay, that shift, make sure you do not reduce. Whatever you reduce will make this gown to be tight. So you do not reduce. Instead, you follow the bigger one, okay, and just merge it with the armhole. Now can you see that after I cover the dart, look at the spacing I'm having, right? And if you observe the spacing is exactly the same with this spacing. Okay, it's exactly the same with this spacing. So it's either you cut off the excess. Okay, so it's either you trim off this excess, okay, or you trim it off from the armhole. Now if you are trimming it off from the armhole, this is your new pattern, right? You are going to mark a line wherever you want, but I like to mark it at the end of my measurement. That is before the sewing allowance. And then you're going to connect a straight line straight to this leg, and from that same point a straight line straight to this point, and you cut it off totally, and you cover the pattern. But all that one will be a longer process, so I will prefer to cut out that excess from this side. Okay, so when I remove my pattern, this is what I have. Can you see? This is very technical, so you have to pay a very big attention to what you are doing here. Okay, can you see? Can you see? So we are going to be cutting out that excess that was created because the dart here was covered. So with this thing that we did, the dart has been incorporated. With this thing that we did, a curve has formed here, right? And with this thing that we did, see that excess that was included here because of that dart, we are removing it from here. So this is what we are going to be cutting out, and we are still going to be having our perfect shape. Okay, but let me also talk about removing that space from the armhole. So this is what we have right here. Okay, this is what we have right here. So okay, and then from the same point again, we are going to rule out. Okay, We are going to rule out this. Can you see? So the space that we created is what we are trying to remove. So we are going to rule out this one and rule out this one, and then we cut it out and join it back. Can you see? Okay, let's go ahead and do it. Curve out to this place. Okay. I'm trying to show you the reason why after you have made your own corporate gown is not giving the fitting that the turkey gowns are giving. This is what they take their time to do, and they will not let you know. So now I'm going to be cutting out straight like so. Okay, so this becomes our new pattern. Can you see? Like so, we have incorporated that here. And in the course of transferring the dart, a space was created here. Now we have succeeded in removing that space, right? So we are going to try, this is now our main bodies. We are going to transfer this pattern now to another fabric. I'm just showing you how it is done. When you are doing it by yourself, when you are practicing, you will find out that it is very easy. So this pattern is on fold and we want to have a guideline. So we are going to be using this pattern as the main guideline, and then we are going to be marking out the new guidelines. And this is where we are going to make provision for that dart that you are seeing in front. Now that dart did not get to the bust line, but it got that did not get to the bust line, right? But it started from a little bit under the under bust and got to a little bit above the hip line, right? So this is my hip line right here. Okay, and this is my under bust somewhere around here. Okay, so now while creating the new pattern, we are going to make provision for that line that we are seeing in front, which is like the dart. So we add extra 1 inch. You can go as high as you want the pleating to be. If you can look at that one, the pleating is like up to 1.5. That is 3 inches on the two sides. Okay, so I'm going to be marking 1.5 all round like so, 1.5 all round like so. Use your tape to place it and mark 1.5 all round like so. Okay, and then you connect. Okay, remember, this is not sewing allowance. The sewing allowance is already inside here. This is to create that we are seeing in front. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and create our armhole like so. So this 1.5 inch is for creating that pleat that we are seeing in front that looks like that, which is not a dart. So this is now our new pattern. Okay, this is now our new pattern, which we are going to be cutting out on our fabric. So now I didn't want to bore us with the fact that there's a button in front of this gown. Okay, we already know how to create that plaque, but if you don't know how to create it, please watch my video on how to make a packet shirt so you see how to put that allowance. I didn't want to bore us with all that, so that we can go straight to the point. Okay, now you know we included that thing we are looking at here that looks like a dart. Okay, we have included it here, so we do not have any fear now. What you are going to now do is mark where you want that your dart to start, and I want mine to start a little bit above under the under bust and a little bit above the hip line. Please do well to be marking it as you are cutting. Be notching as you are cutting this fabric, be notching where these things are going to start, and then you place your where you are going to be marking is on your nipple to nipple measurement too. That's where you are going to mark, because that's where the lines were placed. So you are going to now iron. Okay, when you iron, you will now measure 1 inch from where you want that to start. You now measure it and then you stitch. So this is mine right here. Okay, so you stitch. So you now find out that by the time you open it, it will be looking like so. Now in a dart, on getting to this place you slim it out, right? On getting to here you slim it. Don't do that to this one, because we need it to have a sharp opening. Okay, we need it to have a sharp opening. Can you see? This was exactly what was done. So we need it to have a sharp opening. We are not going to slim it out here. We are not going to close the dart. Just leave it to be open-ended. And this is what you do for both the front and both the back. Now let me talk about the material that is going to be used for this fabric. Anyway, whatever material you want to use, you can play around it. But this particular material that was used there is very expensive. This is called lana material. So if you want to have this effect that this one had, use lana material for this star. And I bet you will. Now when you do this, you find out that you will not have fear and you will not have any shortage, because this 1.5 inch you removed here, which is 3 inches, you had already removed it, added it here. Okay, that's 1.5 inch you added here, you have already put it here, which is 0.75 and 0.75. That's what you pleated underneath. So you do it for this one, you do it for the other side, because this fabric is on fold. You do it for the back pattern, and that will be all. For people that are going into the ready to wear business, or people that want to, this is when time for you to make money. Dollar is on the high, dollar is rising, and people don't have money to import these things again. You need to see us at the island. We are busy. You too can also do well to key into it and do well for yourself to make a little bit of cash from it. See you in my next video, and God bless you real good.